So over the years, I've used various water blocks from EK Water Blocks, including the acetal block, which is sort of an all blacked out version. With the recent popularity of vertical GPUs where you can see everything that's going on, I think we definitely got away a little bit from having that look, and we want that clear acrylic RGB so we can see the fluids. Thankfully, EK still makes an upgrade kit. In this case, I'm going to be upgrading my Titan XP, which is a 10 series graphics card. We're going to be slapping on that acrylic block in order to see all the RGB and liquid goodness. And this is going to go in the Fractal Design XL case that we recently did. So let's take a look and let's see how it came out. Hey guys, Tiago with Classical Technology here. Thank you for joining me for another video. If you like my content, subscribe, smash that like button, leave a comment below. So in the right build, I really still love this acetal type of design, which is basically an all blacked out look. But as you guys have seen, the rise in popularity of these vertical GPUs really keep us from taking full advantage of that. Now you can still really do a nice look with these. I've used these in a couple of vertical builds, and if you do sort of a darker theme or you want these acetal blacked out looks, it can still come out really, really nice. But in this particular case, which is the Fractal Design Define 7 XL, as you can see, it's full of water blocks with RGB, and I think it just makes sense that the GPU also has this. We have the velocity block in the back for the CPU. That's going to have their RGB. Then we have their new FLT, or the flat reservoir that they have from EK with the D5 pump. As you can see, that's also clear with liquid, and we have RGB. And now that just leaves us pretty much the block on the GPU itself. So I don't think it makes sense to keep this, even though I do kind of like the look. I think it looks pretty menacing in there, knowing it's a Titan XP card, which is a very special card to begin with. I think given the look of this case, and that corner is a little bit darker anyway, slapping on this RGB upgrade kit is going to be really fantastic, and I think it's going to fill out the case considerably more. Now, the installation and upgrade process of these RGB kits, it's not too different from the norm. If you are used to doing a GPU block, this would be fairly easy. You're basically just replacing that front. It's sort of a similar but easier process than doing the whole GPU block, so you shouldn't really have too much trouble doing it. And of course, just remember this does have RGB. Make sure you have an available RGB header on your motherboard. In this case, this is going to be a 4-pin header, but a lot of newer RGB blocks will be 3-pin. This one just happens to still be that 4-pin method. So as I was doing this RGB upgrade kit, now this isn't the full water block. This is the upgrade kit you would buy if you already have an existing like a 1080 Ti water block or something like that. I ran into a little bit of an issue. Apparently this RGB block is meant for the little bit newer version of the EK water blocks. I was using one that still worked perfectly fine. The issue here is there were a few versions of the Titan XP. There was the initial Titan X, then Pascal, sort of in parentheses, and then a little bit later Nvidia released the Titan XP, which they were very close. The XP was a little bit more powerful, but they were very, very close. Not to get it confused with the previous generation Titan Maxwell, which was still a Titan X Maxwell, but it was nowhere near as powerful as even the X Pascal version. So that little overlap, a lot of the PCBs were kind of similar, and what I did, I actually just ended up getting a full 10 series RGB water block, including, you know, the cold plate and everything else, because it looks like the cold plate was a design that changed. The screws of the RGB kit didn't match up with this first generation, but the new water block did, and that's what I ended up doing. And anyway, the end result is I still have my RGB block. Everything looks awesome, and now you can see how it all came out, and I think it's much better than having the acetal block, at least in this type of build. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this brief video. Remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.